Hi, Tony.
Hey, Brandi, how are you?
Good, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Boy, you're a busy lady. And answering the same questions from everybody's got to be a little bit harsh in the morning.
Uh, well, this is my 16th season. I generally do the press, every season. So, and it's historically always been the same questions. So,
There you go.
used to
Uh,
it.
well, first of all, congratulations on 16 seasons. This series is just getting better and better and more interesting, and it is also like a soap opera too. I mean, we kind of have a little bit of a magnifying glass into everybody's lives. And I think that's what brings people back is because they think they know you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that is with, any kind of reality type show or, people, definitely think that they have some sort of insight into who you actually are, although we've
Uh,
never met.
but when you're not doing Storage Wars, I mean, you've been an actress. I mean, you are an actress and you do other things. Do you speak to women's organizations about, business and things like that?
I mean, I have, but I mostly worked with, domestic violence groups and things of that, measure. I haven't really, I mean, I've done maybe one or two where I've kind of tried to lift people up and give them, some sort of element of being a strong woman in a, a male dominated environment, But I mean, my advice is just, stand your ground, kind
Exactly.
of, and don't get your feelings hurt, It's kind of one of those scenarios.
Isn't that kind of hard to do though? In life is like for example, season 16, we're bringing back Dave Hester, and he's not the nicest man.
What? No, he's not the nicest man. I mean, everybody loves a villain though,
You
So
got to have
there's
one.
that. You gotta have one, I guess.
I'm going to ask you the same question everybody else asked you. During the 16 seasons, what's the best thing you've ever found in a storage locker?
Money.
Mm.
Yeah, I've found so many fun, like kind of unique, obscure, interesting items, and it's one of those things. Am I going to get as much as the appraiser told me that I was going to get for this item? But I'm more bird in the hand. You're going to store this, or you're going to just, kind of here you go, bud, because I can't hold on to this anymore. I don't know. I really found lots of really unique items. I found a samurai helmet and a urinal shaped like a mouth, and you know,
That was
I mean,
mine,
really.
by the way.
Just sometimes you find really cool stuff, and that's the best part of it. You get to learn something, and sometimes it's worth money, and that's honestly what we're doing it for. Because it is a job.
And I think people never quite know what's valuable.
It's true. I think that's an element to the show that people really enjoy as well, aside from the competition, is that there are obscure items that they would have never known about, and you get to learn a little something. So that's fun.
Yeah. And people love a treasure hunt too. I think when you open that unknown door, and you start going through some of this stuff, um, I think people look at themselves and say, "Boy, I've got something like that, or I want to do that."
Yeah, who doesn't? Who doesn't love a treasure hunt? You know? So then
Talk to
what
me about the crew that you work with because these guys have got to be on their toes all the time, and working with such a tremendous crew. They make everybody look fantastic.
there has been a lot of, turnaround over the years because I mean this is our 16th season, but there's also been just the solid folks that have been there, since day one and honestly, they work so very hard, and they are out there before us, and they are out there after us, just working their asses off, just making sure, yes, making sure that we look cool.
Yeah,
And I just love those people.
and going through all that footage that they have to go through to make a show look, and feel like Storage Wars is a huge task.
It really is. I mean, I know that people think that this all happens in one day, and it's weeks of time that take to shoot one episode.
Uh,
So I mean,
yeah, season 16 though is a little bit elongated. Would you say? I mean, you're using a little different approach.
yeah, there's an hour-long episode this season, which I mean, it gives them more opportunity to kind of highlight our personalities and get to show kind of the funny stuff that we have to edit out, and we get to do a couple of extra fun things that people probably want to see,
Yeah. Will
hopefully.
Barry be making an appearance in season 16?
No, 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 no Barry this season. But you never know, he might pop in.
The man is crazy.
Oh, he's great.
I love Barry.
Yeah.
And Dan and Laura are amazing people. I've been up to their house in Yucaipa, and they're sweethearts. And although you don't want to get Laura angry.
Oh. Again, woman in a male dominated, environment, you got to be tough.
As we wind down our interview, what do you think audiences are going to pull away from season 16 of Storage Wars?
Well, like I said, they'll get to see a little more of us. It's an hour-long platform this season. We went to an estate sale this season. So, yeah, yeah, and that actually was a lot of fun, especially for me because I won big. So I hope to do more of those in the future. I think that we had a lot of fun this season. There's some of the older buyers, but Dave and I are the originals that are on there. And, so there's like, Kenny and Ivy and Renee and Dusty and Lisa, are all kind of making appearances along the way. So it's going to be a lot of fun this season. I'm excited.
It has always been just a fun show to watch, but you get, involved as an audience and you start yelling at people.
Oh
So
yeah,
I think that's great. A&E has done a great job in making this such a terrific show for audiences.
I agree. I agree. It's been a phenomenal 16 seasons.
Did you ever think that
Ooh.
from the first one that you would last 16 years?
I didn't think it would last one, to be honest, and I didn't realize, all the elements that they would have to the show. But I also was like, who wants to watch us go through other people's junk? I didn't, I just, I didn't think that, anybody would watch it. And then it just became this overnight sensation.
Yeah, and I thought, oh wow, they're going to visit yard sales too, and you never know.
You certainly don't. You don't
Anyway,
know.
Brandy, it's a pleasure to catch up with you and talk to you about season 16 of Storage Wars, and it's going strong. I see no end to this.
Ah, thank you.
And you're
What a
you're
good talk
just
to you.
terrific, and we adore you. So take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye bye.
You as well. Bye.